Welcome to Ground Control and another episode of the Pilot's Lounge. I have a lot of information to cover in this episode. Things that we've already covered since the last episode. Volantex Ranger G2. We had the maiden flight and we performed a mod on that plane. We will have links to all these subjects in the show notes that will lead you directly to those videos. But the Volantex Ranger G2 does have a significant problem, so check that out. We'll be working on that as a project coming up, and we'll try to mitigate the problem. It's a bad thrust angle with the motor. The Racer Star BR 2207 2500 kV motor, I like that motor. It seems to be very well made. I have tested it on our Glue and Fly Series F-22 Mini version 1, which is basically our prototype plane. I am going to be installing it in our Glue and Fly Series F-22 Mini version 2 for further testing. That's a much better flying plane. Probably one of the best planes that I have. So I'll be testing it in that plane as well. I think it's going to make a good upgrade motor, at least on a 2-cell power system for that plane, and I expect to get at least as good, if not better, performance out of that motor as the motor that I currently have installed on it. So watch for that. One issue that I have run into in the past 6 months is props, and I don't understand what is going on the past 6 months with props, and let me know if you guys are having the same kind of issue. But it doesn't seem to matter what size prop I purchase, what brand prop I purchase. Out of the bag, the props are so out of balance that I'm having to put tape on one blade just to balance the blades. And what I would normally do would just be to lightly sand down the heavy blade to get it balanced. But now they're so far out of balance, I'm having to put tape on a blade to get it balanced. And the hubs are so far out of balance that I'm having to put a tremendous amount of hot glue on the light side of the hub to get the hubs balanced. And so I don't know what's going on with props lately. Like I said, it doesn't seem to matter what brand of prop it is. And I'll throw up some pictures on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. And the first picture will be the prop that I have on the Hobby King Glue and Go Series FW190. It has a Gem Fan 8x4 prop on there. It's an APC style prop. If you look, you'll see that I've got a big piece of tape on one prop blade because it was so far out of balance I had to use tape. And then look at the amount of hot glue that I had to put on the hub just to get that balance. That, in my opinion, that's unacceptable. But let me know if you guys are running into the same issue. The next picture I'm going to show you is the Gem Fan 5x3 props, which I use extensively in my microplanes and micro quadcopters. And normally I can do light sanding on those and get them balanced. Now I'm having to use tape on those, and if you look at the picture, do you see a pattern there? I mean, that has got to be for the result of a bad injection mold. For every prop in the pad, I think I had 10 props, and only one of them was I able to balance without putting tape on the blade. But that's ridiculous. I mean, they're all exactly the same imbalance, on each one of those props, and there's 9 out of 10, and I have never run into that issue before. On the Gem Fan 6x3 props, which I have used extensively on my mini park jets, they've always worked extremely well, and the last batch of those props that I've gotten apparently are not as stiff as the previous props that I've gotten, because once I get above 80% throttle on my mini park jet, the prop unloads. So I decided that I was going to test out a Gem Fan 6x3 carbon nylon. I knew that would be stiff enough to be able to handle the torque and the RPMs from those motors. And landing out in the rough stuff that I have to land in, I know it's not easy on props, but I have about 200 flights on my mini and micro park jets, and I have never broken a prop on landing, an ABS prop. When I went out and tested the Gem Fan carbon nylon props, I broke 2 props in 6 flights and landing with those. Those things were just about as fragile as glass, so I didn't even bother to test those on the thrust stand. If you're landing on grass, then you might be able to use those props without them breaking on you. But if you're landing on a hard surface like I am, those props are just way too fragile to use. So the next picture that I'm going to show you is a KMP prop that I bought, 6x3 composite prop. And if you look at that prop, that is currently mounted on my Glue and Fly Series F22 Mini version 2. And I'm currently testing that prop out in the field. But if you look at the prop blade, I also had to put a big piece of tape on there in order to get it balanced. And look at the amount of hot glue I had to put on the hub there to get it balanced. Like I said, it doesn't seem to matter what brand of prop, but let me know what you guys' experience has been the past 6 months with purchasing props. How out of balance are they when you guys get them? Okay, so that's terrible in my opinion. So I'm currently looking to source new props from different manufacturers to find out who can get consistent quality. But so far, it's almost been a futile attempt. Let me see. Orange RX receiver reliability. If any of you are using Orange RX receivers, let me know if you've had any problems with them. So far, I've got about 6 of them. I've had pretty good luck with them. I recently had a crash in my F22 Mini version 1, my prototype plane. I was testing the HT-IRC 12 amp ESC in it when either I lost control signal with that plane or I had a servo lock up on it, but it nosed in hard enough that I had to retire the airframe. So then I moved the HT-IRC speed controller to my F22 Mini version 2, and I had a very similar thing happen. So now I'm thinking that maybe it wasn't the servo and it wasn't the receiver. Maybe it was the voltage regulator on the HT-IRC 20 amp ESC. I'm going to have to put that on the thrust stand with the motor, have it connected to a servo tester with the servos actuating to see if in fact that speed controller is intermittent. But that would explain some of the hiccups that I've had field testing that ESC, thinking that maybe it was not remembering or losing the data for the hand and the low-end programming from the transmitter, or some kind of timing issue. Now my thoughts are kind of, well, this thing has got an intermittent voltage regulator on it. So I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'm definitely going to find out. And when I have that information, I will update the review on the HT-IRC 20 amp or 12 amp ESC. Okay, we have also on our Patreon site for our patrons, we have uploaded our Glue and Fly Series F22 Micro version 1 plans and decals. So if you guys aren't patrons yet, I mean, go back and look at some of the videos of our F22 Micro and our Interceptor and take a look at how they fly. But so we've just uploaded our plans for the F22 Micro version 1, the plans and the decals, and in short order I'll be uploading the plans for the Micro Interceptor as well. We've also uploaded more Glue and Fly series of build tips to our Patreon site for patrons. So if you're not a patron yet, consider doing that. It's $1 a month for the plans. So we have completed our project on our powered glider, our chuck glider conversion. I don't know if you guys have looked at any of the videos of this glider, but it's very fast, it's very acrobatic, it flies extremely well, it can carry a micro FPV system. We just uploaded, I don't know, early last week, our first complete FPV flight with this glider. So, and we've uploaded 11 video segments for the tutorials on converting this chuck glider into an RC powered glider. So we've uploaded the plans, The decals are on our Patron site, but they're freely downloadable. So you guys have everything that you need in order to do that conversion. So if you want to convert one of these truck gliders, I think you'll be happy with the results. So take a look at those. Let me see. I'm still in the process of completing my rebuild of the Glue and Fly Series F22 Micro and getting it ready for its maiden flight. This project kind of put me behind schedule on that, but that's going to be my priority going forward until I get that finished before I work on any additional projects. So our Opto ESC that we performed a tutorial online, we posted an online tutorial for taking an Opto ESC, adding a switching voltage regulator to it that gives you 3 amps of power. I have approximately 30 flights field testing that now, and I haven't had a single problem with it. That's going to be the way that I build my speed controllers, and what I'm going to use going forward from now on. I just, they seem to be pretty bulletproof. So I have yet to have a problem with them, and I love being able to have 3 amps of power at 5 volts with a switching voltage regulator on my mini and micro park jets. And they're so compact and so lightweight. So if you guys haven't looked at that tutorial, take a look at it. And I'm going to be posting a short update tutorial for that, which is going to make that combination even better. There's not going to be a single downside to doing it that way. So look for that tutorial as well, or tutorial update. I have yet to test the HTIRC Hornet 20 amp ESC. So I've tested on the thrust stand, but I haven't done field testing yet. So we'll be doing that and finding out what the issue is with the HTIRC 12 amp ESC that I have. See if that is in fact a voltage regulator issue. The WO Toys F949 Cessna 182 main wing modification show and tell tutorial, which consists of the wing extensions as well as the manual flap system. Now, I know this has been a long time coming before I posted this, but it took me a long time to get these clevises that I wanted to use for this project, and I wanted to make an improvement in the manual flap system, and so I have finally been able to post that tutorial. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's not only applicable to this plane, but any 3-channel plane that you want to add manual flaps to, this system will work. This system works extremely well. I have already posted the maiden test flight of the F949 using this new manual flap system, and it works extremely well, and it's a much better system than the first system that I used on it. So, and I think I'm going to go back and add that same system to the Volantex Mini Train Star too. Like I said, it'll work with any 3-channel plane that you want to add manual flaps to. So I think that's going to be an improvement for that plane as well. But you can really fly this plane slow with full flap deflection. And again, I posted the templates for doing this modification for the wing extensions as well as the manual flap system with a list of all the material that I used on the Patreon site, and the documents are freely downloadable. So don't forget to go to the Patreon site and download those if you want to complete that project. Watch the video of the maiden test flight, and I think you'll want to implement that. So that was a great success. I really enjoyed the improvement that gave me with that plane. Before our next episode, we'll do additional flights of the Hobby King FW190 kit plane. It's really a fun plane to fly. I really enjoy flying it. It's turned out to be a pretty good plane, and although it's a little larger plane than I'm used to flying, it flies so slow, and with our power system, it has excellent power. I think it might actually make a decent acrobatic training plane. So if you haven't looked at any of the videos, go look at those, and we'll be posting future videos of those flights as well. We will have additional flights of the Volantex Ranger G2 after I complete some mods on that plane to try and mitigate that bad thrust angle on that motor, to see if I can improve that or completely remove that issue. I may not be able to completely remove it, but I think at least I'll be able to mitigate it quite a bit. So stay tuned for that. We will have additional reviews and additional dust-off flights of some other planes. So, and of course some tutorials and tips and needful things. We'll be posting all those before our next episode. So thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up. Oh, I also want to thank those of you who have used our affiliate links to purchase your products online. It's a tremendous help for us. I wouldn't have been able to do this project with these gliders if I didn't have some funds coming in from those affiliate links. So that is greatly appreciated. Also, we'll be doing a tractor version of one of these exact same chuck gliders. So stay tuned for that. We'll try and complete that before our next episode. So we have all that information also in freely downloadable templates, plans, decals, etc. on our Patreon site for some of these projects. Don't forget to check out the Patreon site. There's a lot of free content there for you to view as well. And I will see you in the air.